If you're confused about troop tiers, counters, and speedups in Whiteout Survival, this is the guide that is going to clear up everything for you. Let's make your army unstoppable. And I'm going to start with something that I think personally is very important, and a lot of people actually ask me, and this is: should you promote your troops to the higher tiers, or should you just train more troops? And about should you promote your troops? Yes, absolutely. Higher tier troops have better stats like more HP, more attack. I'm going to even show you over. This is currently Brave Infantry, and if we check the stats of the Brave Infantry, you're going to see that the attack is 7, health is 12, and speed is 11. If I check the tier 1, the things is going to be way more different. Now the speed is keeps same, even though if you have a lot of iron armor on you, maybe you should be a little more slow from this having like couple quads on you and this wood shield. But anyway, the speed is absolutely the same like the higher tiers. Maybe tier 7 may have different speed, now it's absolutely the same. But from point of attack and HP, you see clear there is a pretty decent difference between the tier 1 and tier 7. And at tier 7 I even have some extra spells, but we may actually talk about this later in the video. And it's extremely important for the players to focus over quality over quantity. At the beginning, maybe you should focus over the quantity, you know, having more troops. This is absolutely fine, since you know when you go do some gathering, especially right now where the mines actually increase. Even I at this point don't have enough troops to full like level 7 mines with the troops inside, like 5 marches on level 7 mines. I just don't have that many troops because I'm promoting, but there is a reason why we're doing this promotion, and also we're going to speak about this thing. Or why later we talk about this thing, we're going to talk about right now why I prefer promotion over more quantity. And mainly this is because infirmary. Now in infirmary you're going to see severely injured is going to be up to 33,000. Everything after this is going to die. Whereas distinct severely injured troops cannot enter infirmary at capacity and will die directly on the field. So this is one of the main reasons I want to have. If I fill my, imagine if you fill your hospital with the tier 1 troops and your tier 7 troops die outside. Better fill everything with tier 7, and if the capacity of your hospital hit the limit, you're going to get deaths, obviously. But still, this is the reason I prefer the promotional. It's just because of the hospital capacity, and everything outside of this is going to just die. So better have less troops but with extremely good quality over just having the quantity. But you're still going to need quantity when you go for gathering. So it's something like this, but everybody is going to find their sweet spot in this whole situation. So yeah, should you promote? I'm always thumbs up for promotion of the troops. But what about counters? Does infantry really crush lancers? Let's look at the reality. And you're going to see when you go over your troops, for example, infantry camp, you're going to see this spell here. Increase attack damage to lancers by 10%. When you go further and you upgrade your tier, you're going to get a second spell, which is increase the defense against lancers by 10%. Now, lancers is having a medium range. This is extremely important, we understand right here. And most likely your infantry is going to face against some other infantry. So the best example I can actually give you is, maybe we're going to go here. Now, the first lines, obviously this is not the right composition. The first lines is infantry. Behind you're going to see 3 marksmen, okay, but in same time it can be some lancers, like on my side. So infantry, to do more attack to lancers, you basically need to kill the frontline infantry to catch the lancers. So this is obvious, absolutely same for the enemy. But the defense is good because the Lancers is going to hit the infantry, the marksman is going to hit the infantry, the enemy infantry is going to hit the infantry. So your infantry is going to be your front line, and believe me, infantry front line is extremely important for survivability of your legion. The moment your front line die, you're going to see how fast everything get decided when the one of the side infantry die. It's just like 99%, the side that lose first their infantry is the losing side. So that's why I think the Lancer, especially for this countering and doing attack, I don't think is that accurate, but having more defense against Lancers is something very nice to have. But it's going to come with the tier 7. Tier 7 is going to finally have the defense. And the infantry as a tank line, they need defense. I don't care that much about the damage they're going to do. It's absolutely same for example, Lancers. If we go for the Lancers, you're going to see tier 7 is giving increased attack damage against marksmen, and marksmen is far behind. So Lancers first is going to hit some infantry. After this, they're going to hit some other Lancers, and finally they're going to start hitting the marksmen. So you're going to see that they have to basically break 3 lines till they finally catch the marksmen. But the defense, I think, is extremely valuable because the Lancers is having the medium range, so the moment infantry die is going to be the Lancers, and after the Lancers is going to be the marksmen. So the defense here is a good one. Okay, oh my god, sorry about that. This is the damage against the marksmen. This is the chance to strike. Oh my god, sorry about that. It's not about the defense. Oh my god. 20% chance to strike marksmen behind the infantry. This is very nice. So here we don't have a defense like the infantry, but something like extra damage to strike the marksmen. And this is actually better. This combo is better. The more damage, you have a chance to strike the marksmen behind the infantry from, for example, the infantry doing more damage to the Lancers. This is just the game mechanics of the troops with couple words. And finally we have the marksmen. Here we have attack have 10% chance to strike twice. Very crazy. It's not specific troop, that's why I really like marksmen. Here we don't have anything specific for this spell. And for this one, we have increased the attack damage to the infantry by 10%. So you see the marksmen have the best benefit, because the first target they're going to hit is going to be infantry, and no matter what is going to be the next target, they have 10% chance to strike twice. So if you have to focus over some specific troop and boost the heroes in this direction, I think the marksmen is actually the way. The marksmen is with these spells and the hard tier, because you know tier 6 is not going to have this second spell, but still it's a good one against infantry. Very nice one. But here we have like 2 spells, and finally this the tier 10 marksmen. So this is how the marksmen and these spells here actually work. So far, higher tier troops are must, and counters are situational at best. You know, we saw how the counter and the dynamics there most likely are working, and they're working basically. Now let's dive into something every free-to-play player struggle with, and this is troop focus and speed ups. Should you focus in one troop? In most of this type of games is strongly, you know, as a suggestion to focus over one troop, and there is a couple reasons behind. If you focus over one troop, you can, for example, if you focus over Lancers, you can go and, you know, go for Molly, try to level up or start up this hero. You're going to use all of your general shard over the Molly. I have right now like 46. You can go and put everything on the Molly. Also the books, very important. Go over the skills. I have like 209 books. I can put everything on Molly and stuff like this. You know, you're going to make extremely beasts like Godzilla hero. and the rest of the heroes is going to be weak, let's say it like this. So you have some benefits going over single troop, but in this situation I think, since you're not like open field, in where you can actually move, there is no range between the troops. For example, you can hit the infantry from distance, but the infantry have to come to you and hit you. I mean, some type of open field. So I think maybe you should go for all the heroes and all the troops presented in the Whiteout Survival. Have your strong front line with infantry, have you behind some lancers or marksmen. This is the way I think the game is built. There is no I'm going to go with marksmen and I'm going to crush everything. You can put like 3 marksmen behind and not actually use lancers. Even though that I think in season 1, boy, Molly is absolutely beast with this splash damage. But you can still use like 3 marksmen behind, because the troop marksman is having some good benefits. But you're going to need your front lines, you're going to need your infantry, you're going to just need something to defend these marksmen. You're not having somebody from your alliance somehow stop the enemy and you behind can hit with the marksmen. So yeah, I think it should be splitted equally between the heroes. Mostly infantry is going to be your target. After this, it strongly depends how you want to go. You can go with marksmen. For example, if I compare Zinman with Molly, definitely Molly is way better from Zinman. Even though Zinman have his good stuffs, something that I actually need and I put in and invest in him. But in general, yeah, there is no specific troop or going for one troop and blah blah blah. Even in the researches, you cannot actually separate these things. If you go in the researches, in the research center, and maybe you still need to put some points over this thing to proceed for marksmen and lancers. Over the growth, okay, the growth is not actually what we're looking for, but for the battle to proceed, you can max, for example, infantry and not max the marksmen and lancers. But yeah, I think all of the troops should be equally treated, but maybe one idea more should be the focus over the infantry, because they're front lines. The moment your front line die, they're squishy. Marksmen and lancers are more squishy. And I personally almost went all in over the marksmen with Zinman and Molly, maybe marksmen and lancers, because Zinman, I in general have to invest in him for the construction building speed, but Molly was absolutely beast. I was like, I'm going to go with marksmen and lancers. And I faced couple battles, the enemy infantry crushed my neck, and I understand I actually need a front line. And at the end of the day, going for these damage dealers, it was not the right move, but yeah, putting some infantry there was something that I learned in the process. It was totally messed up my front lines, and I have to rebalance everything extremely fast. But even with the right troops, when is the best time to train them? And I'm going to talk about the speedups. This is not actually so much about, 1 hour. About the troops and what is, specific for the troops, but the speedups. And I think the events is the best place. Now, maybe when you go to sleep and there is like 1 hour left, normally what I'm doing, I'm using 1 hour speed up and I start like the next 6 hours training, because for sure I'm going to sleep like 6 hours. This is one of the ways I use my speed ups when there is a small time left, but in general I'm saving my speed ups for the events. Currently we have construction, development, after this is hero development, training troops in this event, House of Chiefs. This is just an example where you can actually use your speed ups to get some points and to compete with in the events. And you're going to see that at the end of the day there is going to be a lot of events where you have to compete with some speed ups, training more troops and etc. So I think save your speed ups for this type of event. But when you go to sleep and there's like 1 hour, there is like 6 or 7 hours training one troop. Just finish this 1 hour and you're going to win like 6 hours of training just because you finished the training right now. I'm not quite sure if I stop this thing, am I going to get something if I stop? Cancel the troops formation training. This will refund all resources spent excluding speed ups. Use it. So yeah, it's maybe not that a great idea. At least this is how I approach the game, and this is what I'm doing, especially with my speed ups. So far we covered troop tiers, counters, composition and event timing. Still watching, you're already ahead of 90% from the players, and this is what I want to talk about this video, about troop guides in Whiteout Survival. Just, you know, to share with you my personal opinion, my personal experience. If you have something to add, don't forget you can add it in the comments below. Till then, I wish you a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, it helps a lot. And yeah, see you in the next video.